Today we're going to look at one of the simplest and by far one of the most traditional and uniquely Costa Rican ways to make coffee, and that is with the Chorreador. The Chorreador has been in Costa Rica as long as there's been coffee in Costa Rica, which is about 200 years now. It's a simple design involving a stand and a sock, also called a bolsita, which means small bag. The stands tend to be made out of wood. Most of the ones I've seen have been wooden. However, I have seen a few exceptions where they're made out of a simple wire stand, and they can be used indoors or outdoors. They're relatively portable. The socks themselves are simply a cotton fabric. They call it the coffee sock. They are held open by a wire ring. Fancier ones may even have a wooden ring. And then the stands vary from very simple wooden ones to more like ornate or artistic ones. We see a lot of those, even complex ones that involve using adjusters. I mean, it's quite interesting. For today's video, I'm going to be using this wooden one made by our friend Fernando and the ceramic one that we bought at a local coffee shop. I'm going to be using Milagro coffee today. It's their medium to dark roast, and it's also their medium grind, which, as I've pointed out before, tends to be more of a fine grind. I do about 2 little scoops here into the smaller one. And then in the larger one, I'm going to go ahead and do about 3 scoops. I'm not going to get into all the measurement and the ratios. It's kind of your basic pour over, so get about 3 scoops in there. And then I've got some water that just came off a boil here. And to catch it, you can use whatever carafe you want. I'll show you 2 versions here, but right now I'm just using like a coffee pot from a Mr. Coffee. On the ceramic one, it's self-contained, so you don't need anything to catch it. But on the larger one, you can put a cup underneath it or a pot or whatever you want to catch it in. So I do a little bit of a bloom, maybe 15 seconds. I've got this video sped up right now, so you don't have to watch the whole thing in real time. We're kind of in fast forward. But I continue to add water and just let it pour over. It's your basic pour over method. Here's a different view of the ceramic one, and just letting that water flow through. On the larger one, occasionally, because there's so much coffee in there, I will get a spoon and give it a little bit of a stir just to make sure that all the grounds have in fact gotten wet. After that, it's just as simple as with the smaller one. You can get rid of the bolsita, put your little lid on it, and pour it right into your cup, and that is about 1 cup's worth that one makes. Occasionally I'll add a little bit of more hot water to the coffee and make it more of an Americano. And then on the larger one, I've got it all there in that larger glass carafe. But sometimes we swap that out and we put our French press in there and to catch the coffee, and that'll help keep the coffee hotter quite a bit longer. So if we're making a lot, we will put it there in the French press. Cleanup is about as simple as it gets. Just put the grounds into the trash can and then put it in the sink, rinse it out. Now, some people do store these in the refrigerator or their freezer. And you put it in the freezer just to keep down and cut down on bacteria and so forth. So are there any real advantages to using the Chorreador? Not really. I mean, there's more of a traditional type of thing. I can't say that's got any advantages over even like the GSI collapsible Java drip that I reviewed a couple of days ago that showed that one. It's the same technology. It's just a simple pour over that's easy to use, easy to clean up. The advantage would be that you're doing it the way that they've done it for 200 years and that it is portable. In fact, we saw a guy using one yesterday out of the beach. He had a little camp stove and there was his Chorreador. So if anything, I would say the advantage is tradition, tradición.